Do you know what's weird? You can literally talk with your best friend for hours without even thinking about how you sound, what you're going to say next, how to use your hands, but something peculiar happens when you are about to record content. Now you're self-conscious of yourself. How do I look? How do I sound? There used to be a time where I actually believed that you needed to script better, perform better, and become more good in front of a camera simply by reading a teleprompter. So after forcing myself to record every single day, I've actually practiced the wrong thing. Because becoming natural on camera isn't about performing or becoming someone different. It's more so to remove the things that keeps you from becoming who you are and show up more authentically in front of a camera. And today I will share with you the 3 things that I change immediately. The first one happens instantaneously when you press record, and if you don't fix this one, it doesn't matter if you know exactly what to say, it won't help you. I want you to stop watching yourself. As soon as the red light turns on your camera, you instantaneously become self-conscious. Everything goes inwards. And at that exact moment, you start to think about yourself and you stop sharing your truth with the camera, becoming more so a performer than being yourself. You monitor every single thing, every micro expression. You think about how you look, how you sound. Did it actually come out the way you hoped for? How will people perceive me? Fears will creep up and it will cause you to not share everything. And you will feel that you're going down a spiral that almost feels like it's hopeless and you can't come up again to take a breath. And the more you're self-conscious and monitoring yourself, the less you're able to fully show up and share your content with people and actually post consistently, and which is super important if you want to grow your personal brand. But not only that, you want to actually be the kind of person, a creator that confidently shows up despite feeling afraid. Because this is something that most people avoid, but you show up. Now I want you to imagine yourself walking and all of a sudden you get self-conscious. You start to think about exactly how you walk. And now in this particular scene, you forget how you do that. And you start to think manually about how to maneuver yourself every single step. And it feels super awkward, right? So nothing physically changed about you. Only where your attention went. So where your attention goes, it grows. And in the past I used to be self-conscious all the time. How do I look? Do I sound smart enough? Will people hate my accent? Am I actually good enough to create content despite me being from Sweden? And these are the things that used to hold me back a long time. And I did struggle with mumbling a lot. Because I used to think before speaking instead of letting myself flowing like in a real conversation. I've realized that when you put your attention from inwards and turn that to outwards and focus on the other person behind the lens, your ideal client or your ideal viewer, everything seems to change. So instead of picturing it like you're speaking to YouTube, or if you use Instagram, TikTok, you don't picture hundreds of viewers. You picture only one person that's behind the lens. It's more manageable and you feel more comfortable, especially if you imagine that it's your best friend behind the camera. Or better yet, a person from your past. It could be yourself. And as a side effect, you become more natural in front of the camera because you don't think about yourself. To be self-conscious, it's inherently selfish. And when we are selfish, we mumble, stumble, rumble because we are worried that we are not good enough. And subconsciously, it's a protective mechanism that we have. We want to survive as a species. So it's completely normal to feel uncomfortable because speaking on camera, it's not a normal thing to do. If you have ever forgotten how to speak when you press the record button, please make sure to comment down below because that used to be me for many years. This is where I got stuck because as I started to imagine one person, I would still freeze. And eventually I realized that there was another conversation happening at the same time. I was speaking out loud, but at the same time I was writing in my head, planning exactly what I was about to say. So imagine a funnel. You have a lot of information and you want to just put it all out there so that you don't become misunderstood. But this tiny funnel, you're not able to let everything flow at the same time, so it gets stuck. You actually have multiple parts. One speaks, one judges, and the third one edits and plans everything. So eventually, as you speak, something jams. Because if you imagine a funnel, you have every information that you want to put out there in front of a camera to speak to your audience, your ideal person. And you don't want to become misunderstood. So you are force feeding all this information and you want to be clear. You have so much pressure and all these parts of yourself are having a big battle. And as it feeds down the funnel, because it's pretty tight down there, it comes out pretty unclear and confusing, which makes you become very anxious, stressed, and with too much stress in your body, you forget what to talk about. And on the flip side, if you're talking to your best friend, everything just flows naturally. You don't even have to think about it when you're talking. And you don't pre-plan anything, it just happens. What I want you to do is to stop using sentences to try to figure out before you even speak. Instead, have mental destinations like magnets put throughout your idea what you want to talk about. So as you speak, every dot is connected throughout. And for each section, I want you to ask yourself, what is the idea? What is the example or idea, metaphor I want to talk about? And what do I want them to get afterwards? So more so using talking points instead of paragraphs, so scripting everything word for word. And this is exactly how I'm doing this 30-day challenge to speak every single day on camera to improve my communication skills. Because I used to feel super uncomfortable and plan everything for many weeks and still not show up because I thought that the idea was stupid. But deep down, I was afraid of actually creating the videos and looking like I don't know what I'm talking about. But now I'm just showing up, knowing that I'm using this as some kind of personal diary that I can look back on in the future. And I know that I can inspire you watching this video to actually show up and share your truth and build your brand. So by using talking points, you are able to freely speak about your topic rather than being constricted into paragraphs, text, word for word, because you have more to give than only the text that you have written. And if a sentence comes out ugly, then just keep it, because in the world of AI, nowadays you want to be more messy. For example, there's a guy on YouTube called Sam Solek, and he just simply puts out long videos of him just talking, going to the store and buying food and going to the gym. He barely edits anything, and it's like 40 minutes plus. And the same for you, just record videos. Don't be afraid to look messy, imperfect. Nowadays, that's your biggest advantage. So it's more important that you focus on being clear in your communication than being perfectly phrased. Because if you think about it, most people have an easier time to sound polished because of artificial intelligence, but then they struggle to sound human. And if they don't have the human touch, you can feel that they are pretty fake, right? Like, I feel something, like, even though if I can't always put a word on what the problem is, I can feel discomfort. But this also creates a problem, because when you can't control every word that you're talking about, you are actually going to mess up. You are going to completely forget what you want to talk about, and you will stumble. And what you do in that moment determines if you are going to become confident on camera or simply afraid of making mistakes. What I've seen is that most people, when they record videos, they focus on getting it perfect. But what I want you to do is to also practice when everything goes wrong. Because that's exactly when you're building that internal proof that you're showing up despite being imperfect, and that you know that you will improve for each rep. Otherwise, every mistake that you make on camera will feel like proof and you will eventually quit, which I don't want you to do. Imagine that you're speaking to your friend. If you stumble and you forget your story, what you just talked about, you wouldn't just say to them, "Oh, stop, let's restart this, I forgot." No, usually not. You just proceed, you speak, and it comes naturally. And the same with camera. You have the ability to record this. And just look at me. I'm in my kitchen sitting on a creaky chair and I'm still showing up. And you perhaps didn't really think about everything around. You focused on me. And that's also what I want you to take out from this video, that you can be imperfect and still feel insecure. So it's not all about the equipment, it's about you showing up and building the proof. And like your body will automatically just record content, even if some days you don't feel like it. And that's magic. Now, when you're speaking to your friend, usually you just laugh, you pause, and you don't really think about it. So through my experience, it was mainly about recovery, what I actually do when I eventually make mistakes. If I lose my train of thought, I just pause, I take a deep breath, and then I just continue. And if I stumble, I can just leave it. You have the ability to edit this out. And if you think it's awkward, well, either you just talk about it again or you just clarify in the next sentence. And a powerful thing is to do like a 3-minute rep to warm up. Just talk about a topic, anything, for 3 minutes. Have a timer and speak. Because when you speak for 3 minutes, you let the gunk come out from the tap water and you will speak more clearly. And with days as they come, you will become more fluent and more comfortable. So over the last weeks, I realized that confidence isn't really about that I know I won't mess up. It's more so that I know I will be okay, even if I mess up. So the real shift isn't about turning yourself into like somebody super charismatic presenter. You already know how to speak. It's more so activating that part of you to become more natural in front of the camera. And if you rewatch the video, you will pick up things again. And actually, I want you to implement them every single day. And do it for at least 30 days to build that self-trust. And you will see that you will be more comfortable on camera. So I will leave it at that. Make sure to subscribe if you want more videos like these. And make sure to comment your biggest takeaways. Peace and love.